Hi, welcome to another video. In this, I want to talk about how one can build arithmetic versatility. My name is Bharat Divyan. A couple of weeks back, I had created a video on what arithmetic versatility is about. And in this one, I specifically wanted to look at one tool with which you can help build it or help your child build it. So let's get started. So what is arithmetic versatility? The idea is that, one can look at numbers from different perspectives. So we are trying to basically figure out how can one look at numbers in different ways. So looking at 81 as 9 times 9 is one perspective, 81 as 90 minus 9 is another perspective, or 27 times 3 is another perspective. So you get the idea. So what typically procedure and tradition dictates is like a backup, is like a method in which you can verify it. But thinking of mental models to create your math calculation to be faster, more robust is what AB is about. So if you want to achieve this, if you want to build it in a systematic fashion, how does one go about doing it? So let's check that out. So there's a website called Brain Bashers, and they have a puzzle called Daily Mathemagrids. So this is a very, very interesting puzzle. So let me start off with today's puzzle. There are three types, A, B, and C, and each one comes with different levels of hints. So for example, I'm going to choose three hints here and try to solve this. Okay, so what this does is you have a grid with basically 9 boxes, 3 of which is filled because 3 hints have been given. So you have to fill the remaining 6 boxes. The rule is that you can use numbers only from 1 to 9, and they have to make sense in terms of the equation on the right or on the bottom to work out. And if you're solving it from left to right, then the board mass typically doesn't apply. It's basically like doing it from left to right. How does this help with arithmetic versatility? So for example, when I think of 48, I know that I am basically looking at products of numbers. So 4 times something is 48. Now, typically when you want to develop mathematical skill, you either send your child to an abacus class where there's a series of questions and you keep doing it, or you do it in a Kumon style worksheet. Both of these are good, but one of the complaints that I hear students often tell me is that it's too boring. Whereas trying to solve a puzzle like Mathemagrids can actually turn it, a bit for a child to really enjoy it while they're doing it. So what should I be doing? 4 times something has to be 48. So now in their mind, they start thinking that, oh, I need to be multiplying 4 times 12. And 12 is basically either 12 times 1, but 12 is a 2-digit number, I can't use it. Or it is 3 times 4, 4 is already used, so I can't use it. Or it has to be 6 times 2. So this seems most likely. So I can basically do 6 times 2 or 2 times 6. The problem with 2 is if I were to choose 2, then my number here needs to become 13. So that won't work for me. So I can basically say 6 times 2 gives me 48. Now I can look at the second column. 7 plus 6 is 13. Something else needs to be added to make it 22. That is 9. Now I know 9 minus 5 is 4. I need to add something to 4 to make it 5. That's 1. And 1 times something times 4 is 32, which is 8. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 3 is 59. And look at the time that it took me. It took me about 2 minutes, but that's because I was explaining it along with you. But imagine doing this puzzle every single day with 3 clues and see if you can achieve a time of less than 30 seconds. That's when your brain has gone into a turbo mode with respect to arithmetic versatility. Let's try another problem. Let's do puzzle B with maybe 2 hints, and you can see how this will help. So now I have 1 and 2 here. I need to think of similar ideas. So for instance, 72 I know is 8 times 9. It would also be 12 times 6. So I'll have to play around with it. So I have something times 2 minus something is 7. So as you can see, this is more tricky because the possibilities are more, and I need to figure out, what is the best way to go about it. So I can think of this being 7 and this being 3 and this being 8. So 1 plus 7 is 8 divided by this is this. So I have to multiply this by 9. But I already have the idea of I can do 5 and 4. So this seems to be most likely possible. So 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 times 8 is 32. 31 minus 4 is 27, so 9 times 3 is this. 9 plus 1 is 10, so 6 is here, so 6 times 2. So I've solved most of it except for this. So I have 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 7 doesn't work for me, 2 plus 2 won't work for me, which means something is wrong, so I have to restart it again. So maybe this is 9, this is 8. That won't work either, because then 2 plus 8 is 10, which doesn't work out. So the only other possibility here is if it's a 6, this is a 5. 2 plus 5 is 7, so this is 4. 1 plus 5 is 6, so this needs to be 12. This needs to add up to 12 for me, which can happen from 9 and 3. So that's 28. 7 times 4 is 28. And the only remaining number is 8. 8 plus 7 plus 1. So that works for me, and it's 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Now, as you can see, the second attempt was harder. I went with an assumption which kind of broke down. So I had to redo it because my assumption was 8 times 9 is 72. It also happens that this 12 times 6 is also 72. And that one assumption took me in a rabbit hole. But I eventually had to come back, retry it again, and get it within 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Now, why I'm telling you this is because in this process, my mind is going through more calculation than what you would see in a Kumon sheet, or more calculation than what you would typically do in an abacus class. And all of this is interesting because you're trying to solve it within a particular time, and you can make it harder or easier depending on the level that you can choose here. So my suggestion to all parents who want their child to become much better at arithmetic and math, to try this out and do it on a regular basis. Consistency is what will take you there. So I hope you found this video interesting. If so, please do share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.